Welcome to another edition of the CS Podcast, where you can hear interviews with special guests such as
Dayon Buchanan, Tom Waddle, Pierre Desir, Brent Berry, Ed Werder,
and many others.
Too big, too strong, too fast, too good.
So be sure to subscribe and tune in to the CS Podcast on YouTube at youtube.com/ChristianRE722.
Did you not get the memo?
That's www.youtube.com/ChristianRE722 for great interviews. Be sure to check out the CS Podcast.
You are ridiculous.
Welcome back to the CS Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Shanafel, and I'm now joined by 2015 NFL Draft prospect, defensive back out of Colorado State University, Pueblo, Jarrod Lacy. Thanks for taking some time to chat, Jarrod. How's it going?
It's going real good, man. Just, still trying to sink in that, the season that we just had. So, I'm just trying to get on the grind and, see where everything takes me.
Absolutely, and for those who don't know, CSU-Pueblo won the Division II championship, so congratulations on that. We're definitely going to be talking about that in just a moment, but let's get right to it. I want to bring it back, and, I know that you're from Florida, and in high school you had some success at both running back and defensive back. I just want to start off by asking, how did you decide to attend CSU-Pueblo and play for the Thunderbolts? What was it about this small D2 school that intrigued you to go there?
I think the biggest thing that it was, just some things happened in high school, and out of, the offers that I had left, it was University of Charleston in Charleston, Virginia, and CSU-Pueblo. And, we took the visits and everything. Me and my former teammate, CJ Roberts, we just went on the visit together, and we were talking about everything. And we visited both schools and seen that Colorado, it was a new school and everything, so that was the best opportunity for us to get on the field. And we got here, liked the facilities, everything looked, D1. And talking with the coaches, it was a great atmosphere around here with all the fans, and it was a football town, so that kind of really sold us right there.
And, of course, it was a new football team. CSU-Pueblo's football team didn't even exist in 2006. They actually, their first year was in 2007. So you decided to go there in 2010, and you redshirted your first year there. And then as a redshirt freshman, you were actually able to play in all 12 games, and you put up 11 tackles and 1 interception. I know I'm bringing you back quite a while, but is there any chance that you could tell us about that very first interception of yours at the college level, who it was against, what it felt like, stuff like that?
It was unbelievable. It kind of felt like I was dreaming. My first career interception in college football, I was against Colorado Mesa. Actually a peak out game, so it was Breast Cancer Awareness Week. So we dedicated the game to someone, and for me to get an interception during that game was big time. I dedicated it to my mom and dad, and I came up with a big pick, my first career pick, and I didn't know how to feel. I looked up in the crowd and was like, wow, this is life.
As a redshirt freshman, too, so that's a nice way to start off your CSU-Pueblo career. Now, many times we see guys' role change when they're a junior or even a senior, but for you, Jarrod, it was when you were a sophomore and you became the starting strong safety on that Thunderwolves team, and you were able to have a great season. You were second on the team in tackles with 79. You also logged 4 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, and 3 fumble recoveries. You were actually named second-team All-RMAC. Heading into that season, did you have any idea that you would be one of those 11 guys starting on that Thunderwolves defense? And looking back, did you have any idea that you would have the type of impact that you had on that team so early on in your college career?
I had no idea, I would have that kind of impact. It was kind of, I wouldn't say scary, but I was nervous because we had a senior graduate, and I knew I had to fill the shoes, some big shoes to fill. He was a great player, John Bailey, and I was just like, wow, it's my turn. I have no time to slack off. I gotta hit the playbook. That was a big thing coming into that season. The coaches were like, you got to get good with your keys and everything, and it all just came so fast. But, I just put my head down, went to work, and I filled the role nicely.
Absolutely, and of course, after that impressive sophomore season of yours, you retained the starting job as a junior in 2013, and you recorded 65 tackles, 12 pass breakups, and 2 forced fumbles. Another very solid season out of you, Jarrod. Now, with that being said, what were both your individual and team expectations for this past season, knowing that it'll be your final go-around at the college level?
My individual, I really didn't have too much of those, but just to be better than I was the year before. But as a team, as seniors, really, it was like, we gotta send this program right, send it out right last year. And the whole focus was, and we kind of said it when we had our RMAC showcase with the other teams around, we weren't scared. We was like, we're going to win the national championship this year. That was our focus. We were knocking on the door too many times, and we had to answer the bell this year. So as seniors, we kind of just, hey, this is it. This is what we got to do. Get to the national championship. That if we put in the work, the time, the effort, we can't be stopped. That was our thought process,
Well, you and your team couldn't have had a better season. Individually, Jarrod, you recorded a career-high 89 tackles, as well as 5 tackles for loss, 6 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, and a sack. And as a team, you guys finished 14-1. That only loss coming to Fort Lewis by 1 point, 23-22. You guys defeated Ohio, Dominican, and West Georgia in the NCAA Division II playoffs, and took on the undefeated Minnesota State Mankato in the D2 championship game, where you guys walked away with a 13-0 victory. You finished your time at CSU-Pueblo like John Elway and Ray Lewis ended their NFL career with a championship. How would you describe the special season you and your Thunderwolf teammates just wrapped up?
It's just satisfying. The reason being is because, when we played, we beat West Texas, by, a good margin, and went back and beat a Division I opponent in the Sam Houston. And, people, thought process was like they're high on their horse. And we go in and we play Western State and kind of, struggle with that and had to win the game on the last drive of the game. And then to actually lose to Fort Lewis, and that kind of set us off right there. It woke up a giant. Everybody went to doubting us, and CSU-Pueblo was struggling, and then now they finally took their first loss in three years. That kind of was the motivation for this season. After that, we just went on a rampage and just got everything rolling. We used that as fuel to our motivation. We knew we were underdogs every single week in the playoffs. I don't think we were predicted to win any game in the playoffs. And we kind of look at, the D2 columnists talking and all the message boards and people just going in on us that, we beat a D1 opponent, but, we lost to Fort Lewis and we struggled with a couple other teams and we just kind of used that as motivation. So the end of how we did was very good. We didn't get any national recognition from anyone until that happened. So, to know that, the seniors on this team was leaders for that's great. And it still hasn't hit me that, I'm a champion.
Of course, you guys defeated West Georgia in a crazy fashion. That was absolutely a great game. And, of course, the D2 championship game against Minnesota State Mankato was also a great game. What was going through your head when, it was all said and done and CSU-Pueblo won that D2 championship?
Just like, wow, Mama, I did it. And it was crazy. Like, you dream about moments like this, and you see it happen to other teams, and to look at the record of the D2 championships, it's a lot of teams who've been there multiple times and won it multiple times. And for us to put Colorado on the map, little town of Pueblo on the map like that, is great for me. It's a great way to end my senior career, and it's unbelievable to come back to the fans that were out there at the airport. We had a plane delay and got back around 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, and there was a lot of fans still there. So to see that, we helped, wake this city up is big time.
And you know what? You mentioned the fans. Can you just tell us a little bit about the Thunderwolf fan base? I mean, I don't want to say they're like the 12th man that the Seattle Seahawks have, but for a smaller D2 school that's, the football team's still relatively new. You guys have only been around for about, 7 years now. You guys seem to have a very strong fan base.
Unbelievable fan base. Unbelievable. I think we ranked somewhere in top 5 with attendance, averaging 6,000 to 7,000, which is a lot for a D2 school. And it's unbelievable. They travel with us to games that I wouldn't think people would travel to. 14 hours away, we have fans there, and more than the other team, and that's the home team. So, they come up, they show support. And we had a very cold game when we played New Mexico Highlands, the last game of the season, and we still had a full stadium there. So it's the support that they give us, driven us, and we appreciate everything for it.
That's great. Chris Shanfeld talking to 2015 NFL draft prospect, defensive back out of CSU-Pueblo, Jarrod Lacy. And Jarrod, you were able to play with some great guys. I mean, you guys had a great senior class. One that I want to single out is defensive end Darius Allen. He recently won the Cliff Harris Award, an award given to the top defensive player in all of Division II football. What is it about Darius Allen that makes him great? What is it like playing with the winner of the Cliff Harris Award throughout these last 4 years?
It's a pleasure. It's tremendous because he opens up so much for everybody else on our defense. When he gets double teamed, the other D linemen go out and handle their own. He forces the quarterback to throw the ball out to us, which allows the defensive backs to get their hands on the ball. He brings a type of energy to the whole defense that we all feed off of, and he's a great player. It's truly a pleasure playing with him.
And Jarrod, throughout your entire college football career, who would you say is the best or most impressive player you've had to play against?
The most impressive player I had to play against was probably, I would take it back to my 2012 season, Kyrie Robinson, who plays now for the New Orleans Saints. That man was a tank to tackle. I mean, oh man, when you see the hole open up and you see him and just you and him in the middle of the field, you're not scared, but it's gut check time. And he was definitely a bruiser runner.
Now, if you had to single out one, I know there's been many, but what's the biggest or most memorable play that you've made during your time at CSU-Pueblo?
That's a big one. I would say my most memorable moment would have to be actually at the West Georgia game that we just had. They were driving, it's the last drive of the game for them. They were going down, and the quarterback just threw a deep bomb. And I came from all the way from our side of the field to the away side of the field to cover a deep ball. Me and my teammate, Garrison Hunter, and the guy actually caught the ball. And I'm thinking in my head, oh man, I gotta get this out, because if I don't, they're kicking the field goal to tie the game up. We're going to overtime, or they got another chance to score. And it's like 11 seconds left on the clock. And he caught the ball, and Garrison Hunter pulled his hand down, and I kind of grabbed his shoulders and swung him back. And he dropped the ball, as soon as he touched the ground. So, and that right there was like, okay, we're going to the national championship.
Nice. So CSU Pueblo hasn't had many make it to the NFL, but there are a few playing nowadays, I believe. Is there any chance that you've been able to talk to any of those guys that are playing nowadays, or really anybody for that matter that has had any type of experience at the next level? And have they given you any advice as to what to expect during this draft process?
While Denson was here, we were actually, we were cool and everything. I haven't done much talking to him. I'm actually, closer to Mike Pinell, who plays for the Green Bay Packers, who graduated from here and last year entered the combine and everything, getting picked up by him. When he comes back to town, we have fun. Just his motivation for me is just, he told me that, it's nothing different from college to NFL besides, the work ethic and it's guys just like me in there. You don't have to do anything after knowing, just work out, train right, eat right, do all of that, and you'll be all right. So, and to see him go up there and live, and I was just playing with him is big.
Yeah, man. Just it sounds like he's telling you just keep doing what you're doing, and you'll definitely be there. Now, Jarrod, what do you feel is your biggest strength as a safety?
My biggest strength would have to be just tackling. I'm a great tackler. I like to hit. I like to come down. And be a fierce tackler. That's, I would say, my biggest strength.
And you know what? It seems like I tell this to every defensive back that's on the show, but it seems like I really only talk to physical defensive backs. And like I say to each and every one of them, I'll say the same thing to you. There's nothing more that I love than a physical defensive back that's, definitely willing to lay the wood.
Oh, yeah, that's it. You got one of those enforcers back there. You are good. That amplifies everybody. Yeah. Everybody gets hyped.
Yeah, you're right about that. Now, what about a weakness? Is there anything specific you'll be, taking some time to improve on during the off season?
I would definitely need to improve on my ball skills. There's not a major problem, but there's some room for improvement in that area.
Now, let's say there's an NFL general manager listening to this very interview. Why should he want defensive back Jarrod Lacy out of Colorado State University, Pueblo, a part of his team?
Because he's going to get a hard-nosed guy who goes to work. I got so much ambition. I have a chip on my shoulder, so that's going to drive me to be, even more than the person I'm competing with. He's going to get somebody who's a leader. I've been a leader for 3 years on a team. Somebody with tremendous ability to seek the ball, get to the ball. Just a relentless player. I've always been told in life that I couldn't do things, and I prove people wrong. So he's just going to get somebody who's willing to work for everything that he's going to be around.
Chris Schenfeld talking to the 2015 NFL Draft Prospect, safety out of CSU-Pueblo, Jarrod Lacy here on the CS Podcast. And Jarrod, just a few more questions, then I'll let you go. I really do appreciate your time. If you would compare yourself to a defensive back currently playing in the NFL, who would that be and why? Is there anybody specific out there?
There's a few guys. I would like to, body frame-wise, compare myself to T.J. Ward. Just a shorter guy, and comes down, likes to hit, and just do all those things like that. So, but I would like to elevate my game to an Earl Thomas, I'm sorry, and just cover the whole middle of the field. Be an active safety like that, just be everywhere.
Well, definitely two of the best safeties in the NFL, so you can't go wrong with either of those two guys. Now, is there any chance that you've been invited to any college all-star games? If not, what do you plan on doing over the next few months leading into the NFL draft?
The games that I've been invited to is just the Dream Bowl and the FCS Bowl. But outside of those, I didn't really have much, so I couldn't accept those because of other reasons, but now I'm, just back and grinding, just training, and getting all that right, so my pro day I can, go out there and perform the best of my ability.
Absolutely. And last but not least, Jarrod, here's a fun one to end the interview. What's something about yourself that many people may not know?
Something about myself, in my spare time, I like to rap. I just like to just mess around, go to the studio, and just, I don't look at it as something in the future. It's just a hobby,
Hey, man, you can't tell me that and, not drop a verse here, man. You got to give us something.
Oh, man, you're going to put me on the spot like that, huh?
What do you say?
All right, let's see what I got for you. I'm going to give money, never worry what a hater say. I put them on mute and realize they trying to play a hate. Always been successful. Enemies, they trying to take away. Shout out to my haters because I would not be right here today.
All right. I hear you, man. I hear you. Now, when you drop that album, be sure you send it my way, all right?
Free copy. Everybody gets copies.
Sounds good. Well, Jarrod, man, I really do appreciate your time. It really was great speaking with you. I'm wishing you nothing but the best throughout this process. Once again, congratulations on the just the great college football career that you had, and of course the Division II championship that you and your team just won. You have anything else for us before I let you go?
Not at all, boss. It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me on the show. We'll see how it all goes now.
Absolutely, man. Sounds good. Well, hopefully we could definitely keep in touch, do this again down the line, and take care, all right?
Thank you. You too.